Hi everybody, welcome. This is Dena. It is November 23rd, 2025, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about some stitching I've accomplished this afternoon. Well, I decided that I needed to get cracking on the rest of my acrostics. And so today I pulled out my Santa's Workshop. I needed 300 stitches in this, but this is the one I chose to use my coupon for. And so I had to stitch at least 100 stitches and put my coupon in there, and I could count it as net. So as it turned out, I had a color that I could do in the border on both sides, this dark yellow, and that border came up to 129 stitches. So I completed that color. This is a page break. That's why it stopped there. I've completed that color now on both sides. So those are two colors in the border I've completed. Remember, this is going to be a button that covers that whole space. So I'm not stitching underneath it to waste that time and thread. But now I've got two colors completed on that little section of the border, which is great. And that met not only my daily 30 acrostic, but I was also using it in my magazine monthly challenge. The word is steel, and I was using the elf in this design for one of the E's. There's a little elf sitting there helping Santa. And so 129 stitches is plenty for that. And so I went ahead and I posted that, and that completed my monthly magazine acrostic. So that's the first one I finished, which is great. I had also decided to use it in my 24 hours of cross stitch. I had the letter U in that word, which is safe and sound, and the U in the word sound. Originally, I was going to use Under the Sea Fabrics for my Isabel's Garden. But since I had just stitched this one, I decided to use the U for the elf under the watchful eyes of Santa. And I used it to count for that. And so that allowed me to use it for all three acrostics, which is awesome. So I hear the garage door going up. My husband's just gotten home, and he said he's got some things for me to help him get in out of the car. So I'm going to rush and do that. But I just wanted to share with you the stitching I've been able to accomplish today, which I am thrilled about because, you know, we're going to a concert now to eat tonight, and I may not get to stitch anymore after that. And my bingo call for today is a new start. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead this evening and start my next full coverage Christmas ornament and put 100 stitches in it just to count for that acrostic. For that bingo game. But it'll get it started so that I don't have to start it new in January. I can just pick it up as a whip. I've been trying not to do any new starts, but as it turns out, that will work well for my bingo game. So I'll try to do that later this evening. And if I get a chance, I'll come back and share it with you. He's in the door now talking to Coco, so I better run. But until I see you again, happy stitching. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. It is the 24th of November, and I am here before my Zoom call this evening to share with you some stitching I got done today. Today's bingo call was different. It was for a sampler, and I don't do that many samplers, so I had to pick between an Ode to a Good Dog and my Let Love Rain, and I had Let Love Rain out on the floor stand, so it won. I'm trying to get this finished, as you know, before our 50th wedding anniversary in June. So today I put in an extra 129 stitches in it, which started the first motif on the bottom row. Yes, my bottom row. So it's going across. And I'll have to work on the border as I go. You can see I've got parked threads over here. But anyway, the last thing I did is I finished this chain divider here. So I went ahead and started this skinny little sunflower motif. And I went ahead and did that for two reasons. I am piecing this bottom together with a new bottom row or border because I've left out the rest of the piece. So I'm having to make sure this is going to fit well. So I've started around the border. Now I've got to get this row in here so that I know how many spaces I need for the row. And then I can make sure that when I bring down this internal border right here, I only go as many stitches as I need to make the pattern fit all the way around. So this is a real sticky wicket. You know, this is a place where I have to be really, really careful, and I'm gonna have to be very methodical about how I do it and turn it and get that border going. So I was tickled. I was tickled to get this much done. I didn't do the whole motif because I'm Zooming tonight, and I don't want to be working on this while I'm Zooming. I'd rather do something a little less strenuous. So I'm going to swap out before I get on the call, but I wanted to share that with you since I had stitched it today to meet my bingo call. Now, today's the 24th, which means our bingo call for tomorrow is obvious. It's the last one. And it is the last piece for me that counts for the piece of pumpkin pie that we were supposed to complete. So I will get a bingo tomorrow on the same day I get my blackout. Anyway, the call for tomorrow is going to be whip of choice. So whatever I decide to work on tomorrow will be fine. The first 100 stitches will meet my bingo requirement, and I will have a blackout bingo for November, and that'll be fun. I may have mentioned that I'm opting out of bingo for December simply because I'm not going to be able to take everything with me in my 2 trips that I've got planned. And so I'm going to jump back in with them in January. So you can look forward to that next year. I want to take just a second and tell you about some videos you'll be seeing while I'm traveling. I took time this weekend to film a video for you showing my planned starts for 2026. And then I went back and filmed a second video for you showing you what my kitted in reserve projects are in case I need another start for something that comes up, or in case I just want another start. That's where I want to look first and pull from, because they're things I wanted to do, but I really didn't want to commit to any more new starts next year because I think I've committed to about 36 so far. Anyway, I want to take just a brief moment here and talk to you about my plans for next year because they're a little different. And I reference it in that video, but I hadn't really sat down and explained it to you. So I want to do that now if you'd like. First of all, next year's focuses are going to be similar to this year in many ways, but then they're going to be different in others. So the similarities will be, I plan on continuing to participate in WhipGo. I plan on continuing with my Determined Stitcher group and have monthly requirements because I feel like that really helps me push my projects forward. I have a project I've been working on this year. It's the patriotic new starts for our big anniversary next July in this country, and so I need to finish up starting those 25 new starts, and so they're in my new start list for next year. I have gift stitching that I do every year. I have deadlines for that, and so I've decided this year to put them on a focus for the months that I need so that I use them on acrostics and things like that, or give them a separate day of their own. And so I have that set up as well. And then this is what's different. I have a lot of Christmas projects I started because of my Christmas in July. And I want to put a lot of work into them and finish them before too long. And so I decided the best way to push those forward next year was to make each month a separate focus on one of those Christmas projects. So in the video that I have scheduled to share with you coming up soon, I will actually tell you which one of my Christmas whips is going to be focused on each month. And so if you have that and you want to stitch it with me, you'll be able to do that. That'll be great. The other thing that I'm going to do that's similar to what you're used to seeing is acrostics. I love stitching for acrostics. It helps me to determine which of my whips to pull out and stitch on. And so I do 3. People ask me this quite often in my comments. I do acrostics with the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch group, which is a Facebook group, the Magazine Monthly Challenge group, which is a Facebook group, and then the Cross Stitchers Journal and Daily 30 group, which is a Facebook group as well. And it has its open season, I think, every November. But it has a minimum requirement of 300 stitches. And so it's sort of the big one that I have to be careful about what I put in there. And I always try to put things in there I'm pushing toward a finish because I have to put 300 stitches in them. Those 3 acrostics I plan on continuing into next year if at all possible. I think it helps me to stay focused. Now I will see if I get to continue with my focus for my Christmas piece and start my, patriotic starts and focus on all my other new starts and still do the acrostics. So that may be a bit of an experiment toward the first of the year. So I reserve the right to change that if I need to. Another thing I plan on doing will begin in January, and that is Bringo. It's part of the Monthly Magazine Challenge group, and they have 3 events they do each year: Bringo, Springo, and AB Singo. Bringo's in January, B-R-R-R-I-N-G-O, Bringo. And then they have their Springo, and this year they're moving it. It was going to be, I think, around March or April, and I think it's now going to be in May, if I'm not mistaken. But it's still going to be in the spring. And then you have AB Singo in September. It's like going back to school in September, learning your ABCs. And it is prompt driven, so that'll be good. No, it is for each letter of the alphabet. January is prompt driven. So prompts are coming out December 1st, according to Carolyn. So I can't wait to get those and make those plans for January. Last year, we started a new game in my planning group, and that was we took a play from Jason Marie Does Stuff, and we decided to play our version of the Great British Bake Off game. We took the numbers down a bit that we could manage. No, if everything happens once that we stitch for in a show, it's a total of 500 stitches in a week. We will be doing that again, but we're starting it February 1st, and we're starting the US season 9. So that's, if you want to join us, please do. And when it gets closer to the time, I'll tell you more about it. There is a Facebook group that we've created for any of you who want to join and show what you're doing and talk about what you've assigned to what person. And we had a lot of fun sharing in that last year, and we just left it up, and we'll just go for it again. I've already posted the date that we're starting February 1st. And before long, I will go in and paste up in there the list of the bakers in the order that I saw them and thought that they were introduced. And that's the order we've decided to take as assigning them 1 through 12. So if that helps you. The other thing I had a great fun with this past year, first time I'd ever done it, was the Tour de France. And so I am planning on stitching on one piece for the Tour de France, and it's a stitch for every kilometer that they ride. So I think that really helped me this year. I loved it, and I got a lot of progress on my project that I had identified. So I think that I am going to try to do that again this year. I don't think that I will do any other rides. I did 2 this past year, but after I had done the first one, I was kind of tired of that and wanted to move on. And so I don't think I'm going to do any except the Tour de France this year. I'm not into the football gridiron grind because I don't have a team that I particularly pull for. Our son played football in high school, and we spent many a Friday night there, and I loved it. It's not that I don't like it. I just don't have a team that I follow. And so I'm not going to be doing that. But I encourage all of you to do it that like it, and find other games that you enjoy as well, and do those. I think that's a pretty good overview of what I intend to work on and how I intend to do it until you get to the end of the year. And this coming year, I plan on doing 3 months to the finish line again. It works so well for me this year, and the only one that I haven't finished yet is my December quilt, and I am determined to get it done. And if I do, I will have finished everything affiliated with that. The initial 6 that I chose, my first alternates, and my second group of alternates. So that tells you how successful that was for me. And I was just trying to think if there was anything else I had left out that I did this past year that I intend to continue doing again. Anyway, if I think about it, I'll come back and share it with you. It's been a wonderful year of stitching. At the end of the year or first of the next year, I will definitely share stats with you, let you know kind of what I've been doing as far as my totals of everything. But otherwise, that's kind of what's going on. I have a massive spreadsheet I'm looking at over here that has all of my months set out, and a whole column of new starts, a column for where my Christmas project focus will be, my gift project focus, a place to put in my 2 whip go calls, and a place to add in my monthly requirements for every month. And that's how I'm going to drive my stitching. And what I will do is look at what I need to stitch that month, and I'll make sure all of those things are on my acrostics. And that way I double dip. I get my accomplishments met because I give myself plenty of opportunities to stitch on what I need to stitch on. So there are plans in a nutshell for next year, and you'll get details coming up in 2 special edition videos. They're short, but I wanted to share them with you in more detail and show you each thing. So I'm planning on doing that coming up, and just be watching for those. So that's it for this evening. I'm going to say goodnight. I'm going to go jump on my Zoom call here in a minute and do some stitching with friends. I highly encourage you to do that if you get a chance to do that. Happy stitching, everybody. Good morning, everybody. It is November 26th, and it is bright and early in the morning. My husband and Coco are off to the park, and I am ready to get busy stitching. But I realized when I got up here this morning, I had not shared with you several things. I hadn't shared with you what I stitched on my Zoom call. I hadn't shared with you my new start on my full coverage ornament, which is quite small, but it's there. And then I needed to share with you my progress on December quilt that I got yesterday. I thought I had recorded it, and apparently it did not record. So I'm catching up today. I'm hoping that this one will work. So the first thing I'll share with you is Exceedingly Diligent. That's my shortened version for In All Things, Be Exceedingly Diligent. And this is one that I started on a retreat, and I have cut and pasted it into a smaller version of itself, and started on the 2nd alphabet. So that's how far I got in my Zoom call. Got through the letter I, which was great, and glad to have gotten a little bit of work on that. And that is something I will just pick up and stitch on, probably for Zoom calls, because it is such a good stitch for that. It's easy to see, and like that entire alphabet is one color. So there's not a lot of color changes for it. So I'm really happy with that. So the next thing I need to share with you is my new start. So I will show you which one I decided to start. I decided to start Kringle's Toys. And then that will leave the last one is going to be, I believe, this little blue house here. So I am excited to be working on my final two. Isn't that amazing? They're both on the top row. I didn't notice that. But anyway, this is Kringle's Toys. And what I learned the last time I worked on this, finally after about time to learn it on the fourth one, right, is to start in the middle and get the most important stuff fit onto, you know, the fabric. This is the Kit Ada. I believe it's 18 count, 16 or 18 count Ada. And I did move this up 2 spaces from the bottom. I felt like I had enough room to do that just to make it easier for me to stitch down here. So there you have it. I did my new start. And I was doing this for my bingo game. I had to have it at least 100 stitches in it. And I had actually done 114 to get it started. So that qualified. And that met that requirement. Then, the last thing I've worked on before this morning, I haven't started my stitching for today yet, was my December quilt. And you know I'm pushing it toward a finish. And yesterday and the day before, I worked on December quilt. And I put in a total of 825 stitches in this thing over the last 2 days. So here's where I got to. And I am tickled to death with it. I finished the house. I came over here and I finished all of this part of the quilt that's in this section, even what shows through the wheel and everything. And then I got the second wheel started. And now the next thing I think I'm going to keep doing, I'm going to walk over here and finish all of the wagon. Get it all taken care of, because there are things that connect, like these connect to one another. And so I want to make sure I have all of that in place before I start trying to do any of the background. You see here I parked a thread that was background because I thought, no, I need to get all this in place and make sure it's going to work and that I haven't gotten anything off. And then I can finish the picture, and then I can just do the back stitch, the background rather. It's all half stitches, and so the flooring will go very, very quickly, I think, and then it'll be the chore of back stitching. But for now, I have a little train to put in here, 2 more wheels in here, and 3 ornaments, and then I can do the background. And I'm hoping that the next time I pick it up, that I could get the majority of those things that are objects, you know, that need to be in a proper place. I'd love to get those done, even if I can't get the background done. And then maybe the next time I could do the background and finish up all the stitching and start back stitching. We shall see. I'm still pushing for November, but it's getting later and later, isn't it? And I have to take a break. I have to take a break today, possibly tomorrow, because today I need to finish my acrostics, or at least part of them. I have 300 stitches I need to get into Souris Noel for my acrostic. And then I have, I was trying to see if I had a picture of it nearby. Oh, sorry. This will be what I start this morning. I have to get 300 stitches in here. And then I have to get 300 stitches in my dressmaker's daughter before the end of the month, and I still have to do 500 stitches, 300 for my acrostic, but 500 for my monthly goal on Wise Men. I still have a lot going, don't I? I'm not usually this late in the month trying to meet things like this because I do everything toward the beginning of the month that I know is a requirement, but I traveled a lot. And so it's just, that's okay. It's pushing it toward the end. And you know what? If I don't get it all done, it's okay. It'll go to next month and it'll be just fine. I did, in trying to find my video from yesterday, I went back to see what I said in the one that I still had, the little clip. And I realized I had said what I was going to do for next year as far as what things I might participate in. And I forgot one. And it hit me when I was listening to it this morning. I forgot to mention Year of Whips. And I do intend to participate in that again this year. 2025, I participated kind of in the background. I didn't make an album, and I just made a list. And I put in, I think, 8 or 10 things. Anyway, I have one left, and that's December quilt. And you know I'm going to finish that this year for Lord willing. So next year, Melanie has made it a little bit easier and says you have a minimum of 6 you have to do. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I have come up, I think, with 8 that I want to put on my list. So I will share that with you in another video closer to time in case anything changes. But I think I'm ready to get started stitching for the day. I think I've caught you up now. And so next time you see me, hopefully later today, maybe I'll have at least one of those requirements met. In the meantime, happy stitching to you. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. It is much later on November 26th, and I am so delighted to get to come back and share with you some stitching for this afternoon. I did pull out my Souris Noel and did my 300 required stitches in it. In fact, I did 326 stitches, so I'll share with you what that looks like. So I finished the little mouse. I had his shirt up to here, so I think it's a little girl because there's a frill around her wrist here. Otherwise, it could be a little boy because it's got a little scarf on. But I finished the mouse. And then I went down here and I did this present. And then I started on the tree. And I got the first little layer of the green in that tree done. And since I had 326 stitches in it, and I'm trying to hit the rest of my prompts as quickly as possible, I decided to stop there and let that be enough for today. So that's my Souris Noel. And what I have left to do is to finish that tree and then come over here and do the big mama mouse. And then there are a scattering of snowflakes, stars. I think they're actually stars in there, in the white. And I think that's going to be a precious little stitch. So that'll be it for this evening. You can hear Coco barking. Her daddy's back home now. He went off on an errand, and I was taking that opportunity to talk with you. So I will just share that with you and let that kind of be the end of what we talk about. I had a piece of a leaf on me there, sorry. And then I'm gonna stop and start straightening up here because tomorrow's Thanksgiving and my friend Donna's coming over to spend the day with us, and we will be stitching up here. And I think I've convinced her to bring over some of her work she's been doing and to share it with you. I hope so. Anyway, we'll keep our fingers crossed. In the meantime, happy stitching, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Donna and I have been cooking and eating, and now we are about to stitch, and we thought we'd sit down and show you what all Donna's been working on. She's got finishes and new starts and whips to share with you, and I have a little bit that you haven't seen. So it's mostly going to be Donna sharing today. So I'll let her get started and tell you about what she's been working on.
I'm trying not to giggle.
We have been laughing so hard, y'all. We couldn't start this for 20 minutes.
That's what happens when we have pecan pie.
That was too much.
Too much sugar.
Too much sugar.
And we even shared a slice.
Yeah. But it's still too much sugar.
Okay, so my new start is a really old one. Well, not as old as what I have in my stash, but this was from a 2008. It's a Lizzie Kate, and it's Christmas is Forever. And gee, this is all I have done so far. Here.
You'll see why that's funny in a minute.
This is what we got tickled over,
Oh,
was how she started this on me. So, yeah.
That's cute. I like that. Now, you pull that out as part of a 3 starts in 3 hours when you had to have something old out of something you'd had for a long time.
Yeah, because you're always making me do that kind of stuff. And she wonders why. I'm like, I don't want to know anything else. Let me just stitch on what I got.
Just tell me where and when.
Just tell me. Okay, so then our other start from the 3 hours, we decided to do the Primrose Cottage. This was October's, and it's the Hello Autumn. And I did mine on 40 count for doll. And I'm telling you what, I like this.
You like the doll.
Feel it.
Oh, it's soft.
It's very soft.
Feels great.
So this is how mine came out.
So cute.
And they called for colors except for the fabric. And I have no clue what the fabric is, color, because it was a stash piece that Dena got. And I'm like, I'm grabbing it.
Yep. It was good. It was from a freebie.
Okay. And then we have some friends that decided we were going to kit up things together.
The Lake House Stitchers. We've talked about that.
And I finally told them, I said, stop. I said, I've got everything to stitch. And I said, we got to stop this because I got to get caught up.
That's right. We had about 14 or so, 12 or 14.
Oh, did I forget his nose?
I don't think so. I think it's in relief. Look at the picture.
Oh, no, I didn't.
No.
Okay, so this is the picture. We're going to have to get this close because that's the only picture I have. This one's out of the Just Cross Stitch
Christmas ornament.
2023. Yeah, so that is it. And I think, did she give us the page? Page 63, if anybody wants to know.
She's very efficient.
We got a few there. Too organized.
It's not just me.
So this is, and they picked the fabric and we stitched it on what they gave us. So this is what I did. This was another start in 3 hours at a different retreat thing. I'm telling you, I have to do these little smalls when we're together like this. So that's that one. And then my last finish was another start of the 3 hours. And it's the same thing. Oh, I didn't look to see if there was a picture.
Well, you got it finished so they can see what it looks like.
No, there's no picture in here. But this is what
Same magazine, though.
Same magazine.
The light's shining through.
Here. And it's called Joy. And I haven't stitched it on Ada in so long.
Yeah, that was different.
This was done on Ada because she likes to work on Ada. Christine does, yeah. So she picked it, but I couldn't do the beads. The beads made me mad, so I did my French knots. I got to show off in front of some new friends that I cannot bead.
I offered to bead for her, and she said thank you, but no, they were too small, so she did her French knots. And that was funny because everybody there said, oh, I cannot do French knots. Let me see. So Donna had to teach an impromptu class on French knots at the retreat.
And then we learned how to do a loop start using just
A single strand.
a single thread that you're using like on 36 count or 40 count. And actually it was,
I love it.
yeah, it was awesome.
I have always avoided single count thread because I didn't want to give up my loop start. And when Donna found that, she said, oh, I have to show this to you. And she did, and I did it the whole weekend. It was wonderful.
So, of course, we had another class
On doing that.
doing that.
Starting the loop start with a single thread is awesome. Okay. Well, why don't you save that one?
Save this one?
That's
Okay.
the grand finale.
Oh, that's the grand finale. Yes, it is a grand finale. Not yet, but it
It's
will
awesome. It's so awesome. So I have one whip that you haven't seen yet, and this is was my last entry on my daily 30 acrostic. So I still have another one to do. This is what she got tickled. I said, when I go to show this, I'm probably going to knock you right in the face. I'm so sorry. But today I worked on this one. And I worked in all the flower colors. And now the only spaces that are left in there are going to be beads. So I did 324 stitches in there for my 300 stitches for that prompt. And I met that one today. So, apologize, I didn't show you what I'm working on. This is Dressmaker's Daughter. And so I was working on that one on the end. So that's my whips. Okay, now you can,
Yeah.
well, let me show the other thing. While we were at our retreat, our most recent retreat, one of the ladies there, you know how we enable each other, one of the ladies there happened to mention that there was a huge sale on Carolyn Manning designs. They were on 60% off. And the more there was something about the more you bought, the more
You had to buy so much before you got the 60% off.
So we went together and pooled our order. And I've been looking at several Carolyn Manning designs, but I've just never pulled the trigger on them. And I've got so much in my stash, I wasn't really shopping until I heard about this sale. And then Donna was looking at them and she said, oh, this looks like you. This looks like you. So let me just share with you what I got.
I just kept saying, it's going in the basket, okay?
It's going in the basket. So, but I got all of these that I'm about to share with you for about $12. So this one is Winter Berry. Whoops. It's a little floppy. I love those colors. That's Christmas looking to me. And then, you know, I just finished my peacock and I got all those beautiful teals and greens. And I saw this and I thought, oh, that could go together on the same wall or in the same area. So that's Peacock Topaz. And then this one caught my eye because it says Tower of Giraffes, a collection of shooting stars. And you actually get 4 separate patterns. See at the bottom? You can choose and do any one of those you want, or all of those if you want, and have a grouping of them. I thought that was lovely. I like the idea of being able to choose. And then this one was definitely a Christmas one. It's called Holiday Home. That may be the first one I do. Kind of get my toe wet in there. And then my friend Donna here said, oh, there's a packet, a grouping, a bundle, thank you. A bundle of 5 different Primrose Cottage patterns. And I love Primrose Cottage. And so I had to get the bundle. So here's Hark the Herald. Here is Nativity Quaker. the Joy to the World. The Lord is my shepherd. And Prince of Peace. So I have to rethink about what all I'm putting in my new stars. Donna did tell me that, you know, I did make a major faux pas. I filmed my new starts for 2026 and I have it scheduled to share with you guys while I'm traveling. And she said, before I look at your fabrics.
I didn't get your critique.
Yeah, she didn't get to critique. So those may be subject to change when it comes to fabrics after Donna sees the video. That we'll let you know. I'll let you know how that goes. Okay, so now Donna has been working really, really hard on trying to finish something by the end of the year. This is her push to a finish. I'll let her share it with you. It's looking good.
I only have one push to the finish. Not like others in the room.
I only have one left.
Out of 11, okay? She was supposed to start with 6, with 3 alternates. Well, now she's up to 11. She's got all of them done but 1. Okay, talk about overachiever. I have to give her garbage like this all the time, so don't get mad at me. This is just the way it is.
This is just we are. This is just how we are.
So this is a working copy. So I even have tax information on the back of the sheet.
From her uncle.
From my uncle, because he called to let me know what money was coming in 2026. Yeah, and this is the only thing I could find at the time when he called me to write on. So this is my Death by Cross Stitch. This is the finish.
Come here, Harley.
Oh, here comes my little boy.
Hey, buddy boy, don't you look pretty?
I think he got a haircut.
Yeah, it's going to give him a little haircut.
Oh, you look good, buddy. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
He has to say hey. Yes, he does. All right.
You can tell he's spoiled. Okay, sit still. So this is where I'm at. Okay, Dena, are we gonna?
You might have to stand up, yeah.
Here. Hold still.
Hold still, Harley.
Okay, so this is where I'm at. I'm at the bottom there. This is the bottom. Down there. Okay, that's good. That's the bottom of it. So I got this to finish in, and then I got to go back and finish in a few things. And I just noticed I got to put some stitches in there because it has to match that side. And then I just got this section here to do. And so I'm hoping to get this done by the end of the year.
I think you can.
I've only been working on this since 2016. Okay?
Your puppy wants to come see you. I've been holding him back.
Mr. Tommy gave him a haircut, so now he's like...
He looks good.
He did good, didn't he, baby?
He looks really good. Yes, he does. This is our stitching buddy and our traveling buddy. But yeah, okay, I'm going to go behind you.
Okay.
And show it off. Okay. So there you go. Now you can really see how much you've done. That's good. So you just have that corner to do, really, and
yes.
A few little catch-up pieces. You said where you can tell it's where you change colors, and you have to go back and put that other color in there, isn't it? When you're stitching it. That's going great. And this is beautiful fabric, but it's 28 count, but Donna's stitching it over 1. So when, you talk about having to frog something, that is no fun.
Yeah. I had to take out one section 3 times and still didn't get it in right. And I said, that's enough.
Yeah, that's enough.
It's just going to live to be once threaded off.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, buddy. So I've got Coco on one side over here and Harley on the other.
And they are so jealous of each other.
Oh, yeah. We'll straighten that up a bit.
Okay. Are you going to sit still?
Yeah. They today, Coco was so excited that they were coming. She stood at the window. I snatched a little video of her, asking her who she was waiting on. Just waiting on Donna and Harley. And they got here right after I filmed that. But she was so excited and she was barking so loud. I didn't film that because I was afraid. Number one, it would hurt your ears, especially if you have on earbuds. But it would also possibly get your dogs going. So I didn't film that part. But anyway, Donna and I are now going to settle in and get some stitching done today. I hope that you've had a great Thanksgiving Day. I hope you've had family or friends and that you've been able to, spend some time with them. And I hope that you get to stitch. You might not. Your family may be playing games or, visiting and you don't get to do that. But
Napping.
Napping, yes, or taking a nap, which would be good too. But hey, buddy, how you doing? I know, you're so sweet. But we're excited that we got to spend the day together today. So that's been a great blessing. And we just hope that you're doing well and that you have a happy Thanksgiving and happy stitching. Bye.
Bye.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. This is Dena. It is later on Thanksgiving Day, November 27th. My friend Donna has gone home. She went home to walk Harley just before dark and get them settled in. But we sure had a great day. I was talking to my husband today about it, and I asked him, I said, did you have a good day today? And he said, I had a perfect day today. He enjoyed running so much. And then he won a trophy in his age group. He was first in his age group. And then his trophy was a cupcake, a big bundt cupcake, and he picked a flavor he knew I would like so I could help him eat it. So we tasted that a few minutes ago. Anyway, then he came home. Donna and I had lunch ready. We sat down, we ate a nice relaxed lunch. We talked and visited. And then Donna and I cleaned up the kitchen, put the food away, and my husband took Coco and Harley on a nice long walk. And Donna and I came up here and we recorded, which you've just seen, and then we stitched. Donna's working really hard on Death by Cross Stitch, and I was working really hard today to meet one of my, not only an acrostic goal, but one of my monthly goals. So I am thrilled to tell you that I did it. So this one is Three Wise Men. It's a Stony Creek. It is, it says Raindrop, a trademark of Stony Creek, in case you can't see the tiny writing there. And it was one of the starts that I made in July for my Christmas in July. And today I put in 505 stitches into it. So I finished this cloak all the way down to the arm right here. There's some more that goes down here, but I finished it here so I could get all of this part done. I got his arm and hands in, and I'm working on the gift in his hand. So that's exciting. I'm really thrilled that he's going along so well. It's an easy chart to follow. It's not hard at all. I blew it up. I made a working copy of it, made it really big so I could see it. And I'm doing it on 28 count because I wanted this beautiful effect here of this light. And it's opalescent. You can see it too because it's bright. You can see all those little spots in there. Those are gold flecks. But 504 stitches. My monthly goal was 500. My acrostic, I needed 300. So I did 505, and that met everything. So I am very, very pleased with that. So I'm very happy to share with you that with that, that is the final one of my acrostics. And now I have met everything that I needed to meet. And let's see, that was my 24 hours of cross stitch. I used it for Nativity Scene, starring the Three Wise Men. And so now I have finished all three acrostics, 24 hours of cross stitch, monthly magazine challenge, and the daily 30 challenge. And I have finished my 4 of my 5 monthly requirement goals that I had set for myself. And you know, the last one is to finish my December quilt, and I am working diligently on doing it. I just needed to take a break mentally from it, and also to take a break to finish these last acrostic things that were hanging out for me to do. And then I can get back to it possibly tomorrow, which will be great. I hope you've had a great day. Heard from my son twice today via text early this morning on his way to work, and then I heard from him this evening. He got his ugly sweater I mailed him. He was looking for an ugly sweater for an ugly sweater party he's got at work, and I saw one at Sam's. I mentioned, I think, before, that had the face of the little boy from the Christmas Story, and it was it said "Oh fudge" around his face, and we watched that movie so many years, and I just thought it was great. And so I sent a picture to my son via text, and he said, "Love it. Do they have my size?" And they did. And today he got it in the mail. So that made his Thanksgiving day. He's excited about it. He thinks it's going to be great. And it's a nice warm sweater, so, you know, he can wear it. So that's good. So I've had a lovely day. I'm going to take a break now, and it's about 9:30. I'm going to go down and possibly watch a little TV with my husband again, and just relax and start the day over tomorrow. So I have some floss that I purchased, just DMC that I purchased when I went to Hobby Lobby with Donna this week, just to replenish what I had pulled out of my master set, and I probably need to do that before I start trying to kit up all of my starts for next year. And that is something I still want to work on, but I got to get some stitching done on that December quilt first. Anyway, I think that's all the news for today. I am delighted at what a restful, fun, entertaining day that I had. Donna and I got so tickled before we made that video today. We were talking, and she was teasing about things that we should tell them, and we got tickled about it. And then I said, yeah, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to show you this my whip from today, and it was on a long roller frame. I said, I'm going to pull it up here and bop you right in the face with it. And we just got so tickled. Our tickle baskets, my mother used to say, got turned over. And I didn't think we were ever going to get to stop laughing enough to start. And then we kept kind of trying really hard not to break out laughing again the whole time we were taping. So I hope we made sense. I haven't looked at it yet. I'll have to go back and see when I edit this together. But we sat down today while Donna was here, and we watched Carolyn Zook go through her plans for next year. So that was fun. We watched that together. So Carolyn, looking forward to next year. You've got some great things ahead of you. Well, I'm going to let you get on to the next clip, and I hope that I have more to share with you in the next couple of days. In the meantime, happy stitching, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Dena. It is the 29th of November, and I am here to share my most recent finish with you. I had a goal this month to try to finish my final piece that was in my 3 months to the finish line, and it was my final monthly requirement to finish it this month. And I had a few days that I honestly wasn't sure I was going to make it, because there's so much stitching in this thing, and there's a lot of back stitch in it. But I'm happy to share with you my finished and fully finished December quilt. I think it's lovely. I love it in this old frame. So let me talk to you a little bit about it. I made a few changes in it. Number one, I decided that I was going to move these ornaments here, the little ball ornaments, instead of having them down here hanging out, I moved them over here. They're not that far removed. This one's not that far off, but this one's moved quite a bit. I kept the integrity of them together, but I moved them up. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to use one of my ready-made frames. I knew I had some frames from Hobby Lobby that I had purchased that were, ones they had on sale at 70% off. I was hoping to use one of those so they could frame it for me. But even though I moved these up, the train was too far down. It would have, the border, the opening would go right here and right here in every single one I tried. And then finally, I found this one. This one was an older frame that I had gotten from the Restore shop. And the glass was a bit, I cleaned it and it looked, I don't know, foggy or something. It didn't look nice. And so I thought, well, you don't have to put glass on cross stitch anyway. So I took the glass out completely. But this is the case of a frame inside a frame. And that's how it came. So I measured it and I felt like it fit beautifully around this piece. And I decided, well, since I have it and I have all the supplies I need, thanks to my sister's Christmas present last year, I had a board I could mat it on, and I went ahead and matted it. So there you have it. I wish I could say I had enjoyed stitching it, but I think I had pressured myself to have it for this year, and I didn't do enough work on it early enough that by the time I really got into stitching it, I was under a time crunch. And so I felt like I had to work on it even if I wasn't in the mood to. The good part about it is that every time I started working on it, I fell back in love with it. And I said, I really do enjoy this. So all in all, it was a pleasant stitch. There were a couple of things though. If you're going to do this, it comes in a book of quilts, Quilts for All Seasons by Paula Vaughan. This is what it looks like. And if you're going to do this book, look carefully at your patterns before you start one, because my pattern does not show this gold bell in there on the train. It shows a French knot, and that's it. I also will say I had a difficult time interpreting what backstitch was wanted where. There are different colored backstitch lines on the pattern, but unfortunately that color of backstitch line is in more than one place. And then there are a few notes that say where this symbol appears on this object, on the train, it's this color, and on this object it's this color, but it's the same color line. So I looked at it very carefully and I made choices on what colors I was going to backstitch. So I followed the colors of the green around the border on the quilt. I followed the brown on the house instead of black. And I followed on the bear and the doll, the different colors that they call for, because I was afraid they wouldn't turn out right if I didn't. And then I decided to put her nose red. It's not red on the pattern. And maybe that's a copyright infringement. I don't know. But I made my doll's nose red because Raggedy Ann's nose is red. And then I went ahead and picked two colors. I did 3371 on the railing where I used so much brown. I used the darker color of 3371 to do the back stitching. And on the other things that weren't brown, where they were reds, I used 838, which is a little bit lighter. Let me show you what I'm talking about. They're close, but one is lighter than the other. So there's the darker one that I did around everything that was brown, and then the things that were red, I did the 838. It was a little bit lighter. And that way I felt like it would stand out a little bit more, because have you seen all the back stitching in this thing? I finished the cross stitches and half stitches on this thing over a day ago. I've spent 2 full days back stitching this. I knew it was going to take a while, and I didn't do the back stitching as I went along because it kept rolling down my scroll frame. And I'll try to make myself not wait till the end again, but sometimes you just do. Sometimes you just do. Now, I did make another decision. In the pattern, there's a bunch of half stitches all around in here, just thrown. They're in a kind of a wobbly pattern. And I pulled those threads and looked at them. They are similar to this up here. You can't really see them. Not much anyway. I decided to differentiate. I didn't want it to look just like it was the wallpaper coming down on the floor, and those colors were in the wallpaper too. So I decided to just leave the floor, the fabric, and just put the back stitching in it for the slats in the floor, because I was afraid it would look like that wallpaper had just rolled down across that floor. And you've already got the quilt laying across here, and you've got a lot going on down here. So I just felt like that was enough, and I didn't put those in there. So I probably, saved myself maybe a couple of hours of stitching, but I think it looks good because there's a distinct difference between the floor and the wall. And I don't think there would have been as much of a difference before. In fact, looking at it, I can tell you that it isn't that much of a difference. It looks like the wall color is down on the floor. You see, it's almost the same. So I just didn't think it was needed really. So I did a shadow of a half stitch, quite a bit, right up under the edge of everything to show where it's touching the floor, to make that break for your eyes. But that I left the other little colors that I felt would disappear. Okay. In here. So my husband and I are about to go to dinner. I've chosen to go to one of my favorite restaurants as a celebration of this finish tonight. So my friend Cheryl will get this for Christmas this year. Thanks for letting me share it with you. And I hope till we talk again that you get lots of stitching. Happy stitching, everybody. Who are you waiting on? You waiting on Donna and Harley? Oh, you waiting? Okay. Let me know when they're here.